We all tend to think of family as, well, as our safe place, right? But what happens when that safe place is actually filled with all these unspoken tensions? That's what we're going to dig into. We're looking at one of the most powerful plays ever written about family, Eugene O'Neill's Long Day's Journey into Night, to see what it reveals about the things we don't say in our families today.
This line comes from Edmund, the family's youngest son, and wow, it just perfectly captures that feeling of being stuck. It's this idea that some families are literally haunted by their own history, you know? They're completely unable to move forward because they just can't escape what's already happened. It's a tragic trap, and we're going to explore it together.
And this really gets us to the heart of the whole thing. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? Sitting around a dinner table, everyone's talking about the weather, about work, about money, about anything and everything except what's really going on. So how can a house so full of voices feel so incredibly silent? To answer that, let's meet our case study, the Tyrone family. Over the course of just one single, absolutely devastating day, they give us a masterclass in how a family can talk itself into oblivion without ever saying what truly matters.
See, this family's problem isn't just about arguing. It's much more sophisticated than that. It's about all the clever ways they avoid being honest. Here, silence isn't for peace and quiet. It's a weapon. Denial isn't just being optimistic. It's a flat-out refusal to face reality. So they're all in the same house, but emotionally, they might as well be on different planets.
And this quote, wow, it just illustrates the point perfectly. It's chilling. Mary, the matriarch, says this while her family is literally watching her disappear into a morphine-induced fog. Everybody knows the truth, but her denial is like this massive brick wall that stops any real conversation dead in its tracks. It's a terrifying example of choosing a comfortable lie over a painful truth. Her husband, James, well, he has his own way of avoiding things. Instead of talking about his wife's addiction or his son's illness, he obsesses over money, how much things cost, how they can save a buck. He's using his fear of poverty from his past as a shield, so he doesn't have to deal with the family's emotional poverty in the present. This isn't just being cheap, it's a tactic. It's emotional evasion. So if they can't talk about the present, what do they talk about? Oh, they talk about the past, all the time. But not to heal from it. No, they use it as ammunition in this endless cycle of blame that keeps every single one of them trapped. And it creates this perfect, vicious cycle. Mary blames James. James blames his own past. Their oldest son, Jamie, just blames both of them. It's a flawless, self-sustaining loop of resentment. No one ever takes responsibility, which means no one can ever change. They're just passing the pain around and around. And Edmund just lays the whole tragedy bare with this line. Because they aren't clueless. They know on some level that talking honestly is the only way out. But they're so caught up in their old habits, in the blame and the denial, that they just can't. It's like they're dying of thirst while standing right next to a well they refuse to drink from. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Okay, but this was written over 70 years ago. Things are different now. But are they? Let's take a look at how these exact same dynamics are playing out in some of the biggest stories of our time. Okay, take August, Osage County. Just like Mary Tyrone, the matriarch Violet Weston is addicted to pills. But where Mary suffocates her family with silence, Violet attacks them with brutal, loud confrontations. The styles are polar opposites, quiet hostility versus open warfare. But the result? The exact same emotional devastation. Or what about the patriarchs? You've got James Tyrone, haunted by a past of being poor. And then you have Logan Roy from Succession, driven by this bottomless ambition. But they both use their power as a substitute for real affection. And what do they end up creating? Children who are totally incapable of being vulnerable or trusting anyone. The reasons are different, but the legacy of emotional damage is identical. So, are we all just doomed to repeat these patterns? I mean, O'Neill's play offers a pretty bleak picture, but, modern storytelling seems to suggest there might be another way out. And that's the crucial question, isn't it? What if all that painful confession and confrontation, what if it doesn't have to be a weapon? What if it can actually be a tool for healing? A great example is the film Kapoor Sons. You see a family that is just as tangled up in secrets and resentment as the Tyrones. But here's the huge difference. The secrets actually come out. And yeah, the conversations are messy, they're painful, they are heartbreaking. But by going through that fire of honest communication,
They don't get a perfect happy ending, but they find something more realistic, a path toward reconciliation and the possibility of healing.
So here's the point. The difference between then and now isn't that our problems have disappeared, it's that we have new possibilities for how to confront them.
You can really see the difference laid out here. For the Tyrones, just knowing they had a problem didn't help them fix it. Today, we understand that awareness is the first step. Where they only had silence and blame, we have options like therapy and just a culture that's more open to real confrontation. Their story is an inescapable tragedy. Ours, well, it can be painful, for sure, but it at least has the potential for hope. At the end of the day, Long Day's journey into night isn't just a portrait of one messed up family. It's a timeless warning. It shows us the very real danger of choosing the illusion of peace over the difficult, messy work of honesty. It's a choice that can trap a family in a past it can never escape.
And that leaves all of us with a question to think about. In our own lives, in our own families, how do we tell the difference? That very thin line between keeping the peace and just avoiding the truth? Well, that's a line that every single family has to navigate. And O'Neill's masterpiece is here to remind us just how incredibly high the stakes really are.